is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
First reading. A reading from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 15, verses 1 to 6. Some who had come down from Judea were instructing the brothers, "Unless you are circumcised according to the Mosaic practice, you cannot be saved." Because there arose no little dissension and debate by Paul and Barnabas with them. It was decided that Paul, Barnabas, and some of the others should go up to Jerusalem to the apostles and presbyters about this question. They were sent on their journey by the church and passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, telling of the conversion of the Gentiles, and brought great joy to all the brethren. When they arrived in Jerusalem, they were welcomed by the church, as well as by the apostles and the presbyters, and they reported what God had done with them. But some from the party of the Pharisees, who had become believers, stood up and said, "It is necessary to circumcise them and direct them to observe the Mosaic law." The apostles and the presbyters met together to see about this matter. The word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John. Jesus said to his disciples, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. He takes away every branch in me that does not bear fruit, and every one that does he prunes so that it bears more fruit. You are already pruned because of the word that I spoke to you. Remain in me as I remain in you. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit on its own unless it remains on the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit, because without me you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me will be thrown out like a branch and wither. People will gather them and throw them into a fire, and they will be burned. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask for whatever you want, and it will be done for you. By this is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit and become my disciples." The Gospel of the Lord. My dear brothers and sisters, well, people know how to prune roses and the other trees that need pruning. It's the pruning that brings new life to the trees, or to the flowers even, to the flower plants. So in the same way, Jesus speaks of our being united to the vine branch, united to Him and to God. And even in our spiritual life, that we need some sort of pruning, because to make our lives more fruitful, and to make our lives always new. In lives, we may also need certain things to be cut off, to shed. And more than we, all of us, more than we, God Himself knows the best. He knows what He should do to our own lives. We have to let go certain things in order to grow spiritually, my dear brothers and sisters. Well, the very meaning of doing a recollection or a retreat is to prune our lives, to prune our bad thoughts, to prune our bad deeds, to prune our bad practices, to prune our bad thinking patterns that we are accustomed to at certain times. Don't we think that we need those? Well, for us to have a kind of a beautiful hair, we need to cut our hair, we need to cut our beard, we need to cut our mustache so that it gives a kind of a bright, a shiny face. In the same way, our inner being needs to be pruned, dear brothers and sisters. We need to be pruned our own. But who will do it? It's only possible with God. Sometimes we are not aware of what we should do to our own lives. He will do it for us because we are united to Him. It's as the branches, or the branches cannot be separated from the main core of the tree. It has to be fixed to the main tree. In the same way, we are united to God, and God looks at us as someone who is with Him and who is in Him, so He prunes us. The Lord who makes His home in us will sustain us, will make our lives more fruitful. For that to happen, we need to remain in Him. We need to be in communion with Him. So, dear brothers and sisters, by our own prayers and reflections and meditations, let us be united to God Himself. Thank you, and God bless you.